What industry are you in? Many industries are in the midst of monumental change. Business models are evolving. How you communicate with customers is changing. Technology, competition, cultural change, these are all having an impact. Examples are retail, entertainment, publishing, education, technology. These fields are all changing. And so the question is, how do you build revenues? How do you sustain your business? How do you compete in a market that continues to evolve? Well, the answer to that is, it ain't easy. I have been in this situation quite a bit. It just so happens that the industries that I've been in have been industries that have been shifting. I was in the information industry very early on in my career when it was new and real-time information was primarily available on Wall Street. Today, real-time information is available everywhere. But that means that those markets, those industries on Wall Street have changed, because you can now get some things online, not everything, but some things. I was in the cable television industry, which has changed dramatically. I've been in the newspaper business, which has changed dramatically. And in my sports company, of course, I was involved in an industry early on the internet, but rapidly evolving, which meant that some of the models that we developed one year were not really workable just a year later. And the same goes for other areas that I've been in, including financial services and of course, luxury is a great example in the last 15 years, that these markets are all changing rather rapidly. Now, the thing we have to remember in these markets is that it isn't so much trying to always figure out precisely where things are going and what it will ultimately look like, because it's very hard to do that. But what you can do is make sure you stay aligned with the customer and understand what the customer is thinking and what the customer wants. So you will see customers beginning to shift as they perceive shifts in the market, and what you must do is figure out how to serve those customers, those individual customers. It's like the equivalent of someone saying, well, I love reading books, but I really do love getting the download as well. And so you have to make a decision. What will be my mix? Will I offer a hard copy book? Will I offer a download? Will I do either one of these exclusively? And if you delve more deeply into your customers' thinking, what you will find is some customers want one and some customers want the other. The thing that I have found more than anything is that as these markets evolve, so much of what used to happen stays, and then we have this added component that we have to deal with. And then you have players who come into the market who are only focused on the newness of the market, and they help to reshape the market, and they also take market share because they are completely devoted to that focus. So it's a difficult challenge to face. But I think if you are always in service to the client, always in service to the person that is buying the product or service, and listening to them and keeping your ear close to the pavement so that you can understand their movements and what's important to them, I think you will ultimately be all right. The reality is that your business models will shift a lot. They will shift over time. And this is something that's very common today, shifting business models. You made money one way, but in 18 months, that way is really obsolete. I was once in a scenario where we were making money in a particular market, and about a year later, that market had completely dried up. And we really couldn't do that anymore. If you can figure out how to capitalize on what's happening in that given moment, that is very helpful. And there are just some businesses and some situations where it's really about the moment. It's about celebrating what is at the moment, capitalizing on it, and then moving on to the next thing. There are experiences that will never happen again. You look at television, for example. I don't know that you're going to get huge numbers of people watching certain TV shows anymore. In fact, you can't. The world is too fragmented now. So even the things that were going on in the 80s and 90s and into the 2000s have changed. So if you're in a place where your business model is evolving or has to evolve, the key is being able to move with your client needs more quickly, being able to anticipate to some degree what those needs might be and making more things available, but keeping your eyes and ears open in the marketplace so that you can not only be transactional, but you can keep that business moving in the windows to come. And these are short windows. These are in the next 12 months, in the next 18 months, in the next 24 months. Another thing there is that in the old days we used to budget 5 years out. You just don't do that anymore. You look at 24 months. And even 24 months in some cases is long because things are just changing so rapidly. So the answer to moving business models is that you have to move. You have to move more rapidly. You have to keep pace with what your customers are saying and desiring. You have to provide some things in advance that they might not even know they want. But you also have to keep in mind that the world has changed and that with it you have to change. So it just really means moving faster than anything, than ever before. If you like this tip, give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you liked it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. You can do so by clicking my photograph there. And share it with someone who you think will benefit from this tip. I will see you next time.